live, and we are back here on Hope for Tomorrow Radio, here on reggae2reggae.com. It is time for the Liaison Lounge. As you can see, before we got on there, we were bopping and doing our little thing. We always try to have a lot of fun here because that's also a part of life. You gotta never forget to laugh and have fun and experience. Think, laugh, and cry every day. You lived a full day. As the great Jimmy Valvano said, never be afraid to live, laugh, and cry. Have a full day. Well, tonight in the Liaison Lounge, my friend, we are discussing Colossians 2:8 and talking to our deported migrants about having resilience, staying committed, knowing how to work with one another or everyone that you encounter on the workforce, and going the extra mile, which is very key to anybody's flight to success, right?
Very, 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 very important.
Mm-hmm. And our word tonight comes from Colossians 2:8. I'm going to share it with you, and then you can chime in. I know you also have something you want to share with us from the Solomon's information. Great. Which all ties into what we're doing. And then, we're gonna keep it real tonight. We're going to start with the word first, going back into the discussion of what we had earlier. But the word says that in Colossians 2, verse 8, yes, see to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit, according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirits of the world, and not according to Christ. What do you think that word? What would you say your spirit, the word of God, and the Spirit of God tells you about that word?
Let me listen.
Yeah, you do, right? Yeah. I know. But from what I was talking about earlier and what I was saying is that sometimes a lot of people are held captive by vain philosophies of preachings and teachings of, doesn't even necessarily have to be, so to speak, the word of God. That is it also, but also in any other philosophy that might come along in life that isn't the truth, and men get swayed by it. And if you're not rooted and grounded in yourself or in the word of God, you'll be misled very easy. And then with the elemental spirits of the world, that goes into so much, not only material, but there's also those spiritual wickedness in high places, so to speak. There's so much that when Paul, what I said with Paul in this, he had on the blinders. Paul wasn't trying to be deceived, and he didn't want anybody trying to sway him in any direction. He had the truth, he knew the truth, and he was trying to teach others the truth. And I think that a lot of times, if we're not careful, we can be misled, we can be strayed off course, and then we wind up losing our direction and our guidance, so to speak. I had something earlier that I was going into that was in the book of Proverbs, and I wanted to share this with you as well before we go any further, where I was talking earlier when I started the show about to know wisdom and instruction, to understand words of insight, to receive instruction in wise dealing, in righteousness, justice, and equity, to give prudence to the simple. Now here comes the key part. Knowledge and discretion to the youth. Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtains guidance. Which I loved, because that ties into Colossians 2:8 about, not being swayed by everything, not hearing every philosophy and being blown like the breeze with it, but let the wise hear and increase in learning. We always hear about being able to pick sense out of nonsense. Mm-hmm. You understand a lot of times that there is something that you can learn from everything that you hear, even in something that may be wrong. You know what not to do, right? And then the last part about, and the one who understands obtains guidance, which is what Paul was trying to give in Colossians. It was guidance to let you know what to listen to, what to learn from, and what to know, and not letting every person that's coming along who thinks he's been inspired by God come teach you something wrong.
Right. Wisdom is very important, and knowledge and understanding, that's the fear of the Lord.
Yes.
And when you were speaking of that, I went back and I thought about, I have this cousin in country, and when I first got here, I was very unknown about the food, like, you know, because it's different, you know. It's not macaroni and cheese.
No, it's not. I know that's right.
And you know, he was like my right hand, I would say, or my caretaker, I would say. And you know, he would go, it's not grocery shopping, but you know, he'll go in the hills and dig up yam and cut down bananas and stuff like that, you know. And I was very unknown to these ground foods, you know. I mean, my mom cooked, you know, Jamaican food like the whole time in America, you know. Jamaica, you never leave your country. You know how they say you could take the lion out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out the lion, right? Okay, so it's pretty much that. And but still, you know, I didn't know all of this ground food. So he went and he had got some cassava. Right. So I'm thinking it's yam. So I, you know, I'm like peeling it, but it didn't peel as, you know, yam did. But I'm like, yeah, this is yam, you know. And like it was he and I, so I'm like, I'm gonna get the biggest one, you know, out the bunch, so we could, cause he goes and he works in the hills, whatever, whether it's chopping down trees or whatever. Anyway, so with everything that he had given me to eat, I was like, you know what? It's so unknown to me. If he bought grass and say, eat this, I would have probably ate it, you know. But thank God that he was not evil like towards me, like to trick me up, you know, to say, well, you know, eat this, and then like a prankster, you know. And one day, so when you was saying that, I was like, wow, I'm so glad that, you know, I'm not a dummy, you know, like your spirit within you will flee deceit, you know. It's something about it when someone lie to me, it's like you can feel it, and you could really basically hear he's lying, you know. Or she's lying, or you know, that's a lie. It just don't equate, it don't make it just don't go like 360, you know. And so when you were saying that, I was like, man, you know, I'm so glad I wasn't a fool, you know, because I'd have probably been eating grass and all kind of other stuff, you know, and not knowing banana skins and thinking it's good. Like, hey, you know. So that was good that I wasn't misled. Like you said, even with the word, you know, I seek truth, because there's more to just what we more than just what we read, you know. There's like the experience of truth, because it reveals itself naturally, like with simplicity, you know. Like when you seeking God, seek him with simplicity, you know. Don't go seeking him like it's a space rocket you're trying to build, you know. Don't go stepping into it like you trying to build a rocket ship, you know, because it's not hard. Even a baby, you know, basically could teach you. It's so you seek him with simplicity of heart, you know, because it's almost that you surrendered, you know. And when you surrender, whether you're a king, because you know, the other day we were talking, I don't ever want to be a boss that is like, hey, you do this and you do that, and you know, crack the whip type of things. I want to be a boss who's a team player, you know, that my employees can look to me to say, no, you can talk to her, you know, or you can, you know, ask her advice or whatever. I don't, even though I'm very stern, I think it's just my nature, because I'm a Libra, you know, and Libra is the scales. We like to be balanced, and it takes a lot to balance. You know? It does. It takes a whole lot, you know. I work with a crew, and I mean, I like my little crew. I could say I'm hard-headed too, you know, and but one thing I can't take is like someone justifying their wrong. See, me, I'll be like, well, I just felt like doing it, or something like that, you know. It's like I'm not looking to make an excuse, justify it, or whatever. Now, I am into explanation for understanding, you know. So, you know, sometimes it may seem to be an excuse, but all I'm doing is I'm just telling you like how it went down or how it is. You understand? Which the other person, they will want to say, oh, you make an excuse. But it's not an excuse. It's just for the comprehension of maybe that's what I did. You know, after you did something, it's done. So, you know, it's no excuse. It's done. Now, whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, you know, sometimes we do things and it turns out to be like the greatest thing you done.
Yeah, and you thought it was my big mistake, right?
And it wasn't your intention, you know. So when it come on to Paul, I could very much see why he had those blinders on, because that is out there, especially for a female who there's all kind of way of life that they would want to, you know, they'll say King Dread teach the queen or whatever, you know, or you know, like how, and it always sounds so inviting, like, you know, step into my web, the spider said, you know, and then when you get in that web, you stuck.
Yep, can't get
and you're
out.
gonna get something sucked out of you. You know? So, I just, you know, I go through my thing, you know, like everybody do, you know, and what I look to is, like he say, boast of your infirmities. And that kind of sit with me, you know, because it's like the harder it get, I know it's gonna be big.
Yes.
You know, when it comes on to sacrifice, and you know, it's like this. I don't like too much of confusion or I hate lies. You know what I'm saying? It just don't sit right with me.
I feel you.
You know,
perfect. I understand totally where you're
you know, and every time I think about something that happened within biblical settings or ancient times, you know, they lied.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so we have to go digging, you know, for the truth, you know. And I'm like, why does people have to put down people to make themselves come up, you know? And I always said, this was always my favorite thing to tell people. If I'm going to look down on you, it's to bring you up. It's to help you up.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for me to be, oh, you know, you ain't and I'm all that, you know what I'm saying? That's not me, you know, because I'm going to need you and you're going to need me.
Yes, that's true.
You know,
instead of trying to degrade you to build myself up,
right,
so to speak,
puffed up and bossy and bragging and show off.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Reggae to Reggae here on Hope for Tomorrow Radio. Stay tuned. We'll be right back here on Reggae to Reggae. More Hope for Tomorrow Radio.
All you hear is reggae to reggae, reggae to reggae, taking over the world.
No one can hold me down. No one can hold me down. We are gonna fly like eagles, soar like dove. Ain't nobody hold me down. Hey, this is your girl Shireen, straight out. I don't know what you're watching. Reggae to Reggae TV. Keep it locked. And this is the vibes. There. One love.
Live, and we are back here on reggae2reggae.com, radio like you've never seen it, TV like you've never heard it. This is Hope for Tomorrow Radio. Before we went to commercial break, we was talking to our lovely co-hosts about, the ups and downs of the, not being resilient and getting strayed back and forth between the Word of God and what's the truth and what's fiction. But, how it also relates to our day-to-day life and implementing that, as deported migrants. So we're talking about right now being resilient, having commitment, being able to overcome your obstacles, and being able to work with everybody, and the sacrifices that you have to make in order to reach your goals. And a lot of times I believe, as you were saying, some people really put in a little bit and expect this great thing out of it, and then at the end of the day it's really nothing. And sometimes we got to be like Paul, as you said, just have on the blinders, know what our goal is, and just stick to that course until you get there. Because sometimes I think in reality what happens is sometimes we get straight. It doesn't really even have to be somebody else coming in, so to speak, saying something to us. Sometimes I think we just let circumstances and just our daily lives around us kind of get to us and kind of push us into this rut, where we kind of get miserable and angry about everything that's going on. And if we didn't look at life with a positive outlook, we would be complaining all the time about how depraved we are, and because of that, this is leading to this problem and that. Because I noticed that chain reactions can go two ways, positive or negative. It can either be this domino effect of everything going wrong, or this, what I would call the Disney effect, where everything lights up and just goes right. It's like, wow, this really happened, it works. And
Mickey come out.
Yeah, basically. So, you had something you wanted to share with the Word in Solomon?
Let's see.
Please.
Yeah, that was shocking to me because I was reading this way before you came.
Yeah.
Because I had pasted and copied on it. And this tablet my daughter gave to me, so I really, so thank you, baby. But the thing about it is, when you came in here, that's what you went straight to Solomon, wisdom of Solomon.
Yes.
I was like, well, how is that? So that's why I know. I always,
confirmation is the proper word.
Confirmation and one accord.
Yes.
That's what I like. I like being with people of the same spirit. Really helps. Okay, now it's so much to share, but okay, this scared me because I've been working on the tongue.
Yes. Definitely, it's life and death. Yes.
Right, and I've been doing good. I would say maybe the next person who's more humbler than me might not say it, but to me, knowing how far I'm coming from, and knowing, look, it's almost like I used to run the system. You know what I mean? Seriously. And with doing so, you have to be really authoritative.
Yes.
And I was just looking at this, and it says, for wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God is witness of his reigns, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue. And when I said, oh wait, because this tongue done spit some stuff, that. And what I started doing, I'm into mechanism of life, that's like my thing. What can I input to change that? When it's not easy to change, but you have to find some type of mechanism, something that will assist you to make this change, because it's necessary. It's necessary to enhance your character, because a person is a person. I think from the age of 7, that person is an individual.
Yes.
Yes. And then the person grows.
Yes.
Now it's up to the individual, like Wendy always say, mindset. And a lot of things that she has uttered is so embedded.
It's true.
Every day, man. True. I'm like, every time, and then now today's day, I'm like, well, did she put the words out there, you know, because everywhere I go, it's like mindset and life changing, you know, and it's like all over, it's everywhere. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm on a good path then. If they're looking at mindset changing, and if they're looking at life changing, you know, and that goes with character.
Yes.
Now, I do know that God created each and everyone and knew us even in the secret places, even before our frame, you know. So, you know, he put us here, right? Okay. Now, with him, that means he made us who we are. Our character is, he's aware of who we are. He knows Octavia is like a no-nonsense person, but I like to enjoy life. I like clean fun, you know. I like to, you know, watch the babies do what they do and interact with them because of, you know, the fact that they're so non-wicked. You know, they're not thinking, because people is wicked. You know, and they're the ones, like I was looking at this Facebook thing, the dog, there was this, somebody abandoned a little baby, and the dog took the little newborn baby, brought the baby to her nesting, because she had puppies. So the baby and the puppies
were there together.
Yeah, and the dog laid her head on the baby like if it was hers. And I'm like, look at that. The animals are more loving than people.
Wow.
You know?
An abandoned baby.
And the dog took, I could imagine, probably lift her up
from the side of the neck,
you know, like, because that's what they know. And so animals have a nature. If you have a pit bull, he's a guard dog or whatever, you know? And if you know, like you have a cow, you know, it's a cow. So it's nature. That's what they know. You understand? But we are so wicked with how we think, how we, you know, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, that's true.
And so
we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Hope for Tomorrow here on reggae2reggae.com. When we come back, we want to get into a little bit more about that, because I got something that I wanted to talk to you about off there as well.
Cool.
And we'll finish our conversation. Right?
Hello, 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 yeah. I came from the bottom of the line, moved top and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, 'cause I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Hello, and you don't wanna ride, ain't no way that I'm stopping. Never being the king for a quarter straight shots, and I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. It's fourth quarter, 1 second, all you hear is swish. My motivation is to keep all the haters pissed. It's the anticipation, the way the crowd just sound. And I ain't talking home court when I'm stomping ground. This stomach hurt, oh Lord, my Lancer. I'm gassed up in that lay down to Atlanta. I'm talking all the haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, 'cause I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Hello, and you don't wanna ride, ain't no way that I'm stopping. Never being the king for a quarter straight shots, and I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion.
So keep it tuned to reggae2reggae.com, and we'll have more for you. Keep it locked.
Reggae to reggae, reggae to reggae, taking over the world.
Make way for the righteous ones. I'm not carrying no guns to the world. Spit fire. Make way for the righteous ones. I'm not carrying no guns to the world. Spit fire. Big up reggae to reggae. This is Natalie with my girl Cherie.
One love. Bless.
Oh!
Hello, 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 yeah. I came from the bottom of the line, moved top and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, 'cause I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Hello, and you don't wanna ride, ain't no way that I'm stopping. Never being the king for a quarter straight shots, and I'm a champion.
Live, and we are back here. Hope for Tomorrow Radio here on reggae2reggae.com. Remember, if you have any donations that you would like to contribute, whether it be flip-flops or non-perishable items or any canned goods that can be used for shelterless deported migrants who may be without food and shelter and even clothing at times, please send anything that you can to Hope for Tomorrow, care of Wendy Lovejoy, 6555 Sugarloaf Parkway, Suite 307, Duluth, Georgia, 30097. Before we went to commercial break, we were talking about the art of love, so to speak, and that not a lot of what I would say all individuals are really that loving, so to speak. And Octavia gave us a story about even how a dog saved an abandoned baby, that one that was, tossed in the rubbish, and found him and brought him in and cared him until help came for him. I mean, to me, that just shows the power and love of God. But there's something that you read there that was in the Wisdom of Solomon here in 6, and I wanted to add something to this where he says, "For wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God is witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart,
Amen.
and a hearer of his tongue." You see, the beauty of that is that God's telling you that, listen, I'm love.
Wisdom.
God is love. God is He's wisdom, knowledge, understanding. He's a loving spirit.
Yes.
And blasphemers, you know that you're condemning yourself.
Exactly.
When you're doing that, and with his words, with your words, because God witnesses the reins of his heart. You see, God knows what's on the man's heart, and he knows that what you say is one thing, but your heart, what's on your heart, is always going to manifest. You're going to speak.
You're going to be it.
Yeah, you're going to come up with it. You're going to speak it, because for the fullness of the heart, you're going to utter those words. So a lot of times I think that with people in general, a lot of us just aren't loving. Just period. That's I always say, I have that saying I told you last week, Teflon. Tell everyone faith and love overcomes negativity.
Right.
Love is so key. Love is the biggest weapon. Love is the biggest force. Love is the biggest power. Love is the way to go. If you do not understand but you have love, you'll make it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be able to touch somebody because you love. And what happens with a lot of us as people is we tend to put our lifestyle or how we perceive our life should be before others, and giving love and sharing with others. And a lot of times when people start to blaspheme God and say things that are wrong about God or even the Holy Spirit, and just basically degrade the King of Kings and Lords of Lords, they don't know that they're doing to their own peril. Because God sees their heart, that there's no love there.
Exactly.
And a lot of times I believe, same as with that connects into this scripture about, not about being captive by philosophy and empty deceit. A lot of those, what you see about what he said about the words, was it in verse 6?
Yeah, it was in 6.
Yeah, draw that down there. I want to hit it on the head there. Yeah, about not acquit the blasphemer of his words. A lot of time people kind of preach things and say things to kind of fulfill their own desires, their own inhibitions, anything that they have on their heart that they feel like if they express it can sway somebody to that side as well. And the truth of the matter is, no love, no truth. No truth, no love. And a lot of people get caught in that cycle of they don't want to hear the truth, and they don't have a heart of love.
Love, right. More like con artists or something.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah, this part here, 12, seek not death in error of your life, and pull not upon yourself destruction with the works of your hands. Because, just the same, like even in America, it is quicker to get drugs to deal than a job.
Yeah.
And same thing here. I mean, I could get like 600 pounds of ganja before I could get some, you know what I'm saying? But why would I want to get in that, I mean, it will be destruction.
It will. I just wanted to say real quick, I think that what happens is people start to look at it as a work now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once upon a time, I think when we were doing our thing, drugs was still drugs at that time. Now, I don't think people look at drugs as the danger as it is real. They don't really see. I mean, it's like playing with fire and they think it's harmless, you know, until they get burnt by it. So, I mean, destruction from your own hands, that's so broad.
Right.
It's really broad, you know.
But you know, in like we're saying about love, people love the world, like they love the material stuff, and you know, when it's being taken away, because that is not love, it's material. That means, you know, because if I'm broken, I cannot be fixed. I mean, I can be fixed if it depends on how, like, okay, if I die, I can't come back. But if that breaks down, you can go buy another one.
Yeah, or you can fix it,
or you can
repair
fix
it, or whatever.
Or you can repair. But if, you know, if that was to happen, I can't come back. You know what I'm saying? Physically, you know, like that. But I wanted to share this too, because a lot of times, you know, with a lot of things that happens, people always blame the Almighty, you know. And when I read this, he said, "For God made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living." You know, because I said, okay,
that's strong.
You know, I'm saying, well, why would he? Because now he's a God that holds his promise. Like I say, we didn't do anything to be here right now.
That's right.
But Father Abraham did. And his promises to Father Abraham, and that is why we are here.
That's true.
You know, because God is a promise keeper.
That's true.
I learned in life, do not promise me nothing if you're not gonna come through with it.
Right.
I mean, I can literally know that I'm thinking wicked stuff when I think you promised me something and did not come through.
Oh man!
You know, it's almost like, and I'm gonna even express my wicked thought. It's like taking a chicken and just his head. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being straight up. Yes. You know, because I think if we bottle certain things, that's why we would have, like my landlord, Christian lady that did such wicked. We would have these individuals like that because they suppress letting it out. So when they do get the chance to explode, it's almost like, I can't believe you're a Christian. You know, or I thought you were a Christian. You know, but you're a human with divine first. You know, so you have to, if you're upset, like, you know, Creator said, you know, just anger is a we have the right to be angry, but don't do it to sin. You understand? And so this is really one of those topsy-turvy trying to mold me situation, you know, because everything is changed. Everything is changed. Everything, you know. And for me, being someplace for 47 years, and then I'm like here like now 6 years, right? You know, it's like think of it. I'm only 6 years old, you know, in that form. 6 years old of knowing Jamaica, you know. So it's almost like I was born and now I'm 6 years old. Right. You understand what I'm saying? That's true. Right. And it's very difficult because so much people are older than me, you know, like, you know, and in lifestyle and everything and whatever, and I don't even know, like, I don't like I'm gonna say it like this, the aggression in me, and the aggression always brought out the Jamaican in me.
Yeah,
always.
That's true. In most of us.
Always.
That's when you know you're Jamaican. Yeah, you know, when you get mad.
You're mad.
I know.
You know, and from I was a kid, and, you know, I'll be talking like, so what you gonna do? And then soon as I get mad, blah, blah.
Yeah, and they're like, wow, where that came from?
Like, you crazy Jamaican. You know, and I mean, you know, even now it's like, I am good with the subtlety of, you know, the American culture in me, because it's more tame and more subtle. But the Jamaican in me,
I think the American gave us skills, the Jamaican part gave us resilience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put it like that.
I think so. Because there's that part of us that is like all Jamaicans. That's just inborn in you. When you're born on this island, There's just something that is just in you from birth. You just don't know quit.
Right.
That's just Jamaicans. We
that's
just
true.
don't know
That's
quit.
true.
And there's a bit of arrogance about us too.
Yeah.
There's a bit of arrogance, but we just don't know quit. That's the thing, because a lot of times our circumstances at home and the difficulties of just day-to-day life, we tend to not wanna not have that or go through that all the time, so we're willing to fight more. And then we get to somewhere like America where life is a bit more easier, where you do have certain advantages. You tend to flourish there because life is not so difficult for you. Just day-to-day stuff is taken care of already, so you tend to flourish. You're more working on your skill set at that time, what talents you have and what you can do or what you can't do or what you're capable of. And I think a lot of times at the end of the day, if we don't see life, just deported migrants, for speaking for deported migrants first, if we don't see life as this second opportunity, because that's what it is, then you're not going to look at it for what it really is. And that's where I think the resilience comes in, and you have to be resilient. And as Jamaicans in general, if we don't look at what we have in front of us with this country that we have and making the best for us here, and stop looking abroad, you understand? Then we're not going. I mean, it's got to get better here. You got to fix home first before you go on the road and take care of business. That's how we know it. You know.
I know.
I tell you what. Let me interject. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Hope for Tomorrow Radio here on reggae2reggae.com. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
When we come back, we can just.
From the bottom, but now I'm on top, and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, 'cause I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Pull on, and you don't wanna ride. Ain't no way that I'm stopping. This will be in the king, 4 quarters straight shots, and I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion.
It's fourth quarter, 1 second, all you hear is swish. My motivation is to keep all the haters pissed. It's the anticipation, the way the crowd just sound. And I ain't talking home court when I'm.
Keep it tuned to reggae2reggae.com, and we'll have more for you. Keep it locked.
No one can hold me down. We are gonna fly like eagles, soar like dove. Can't nobody pull me down. Hey, this is your girl Shireen, straight out. And you know what you're watching? Reggae to Reggae TV. Keep it locked. And this is the vibes. There. One love.
Reggae to reggae, reggae to reggae, taking over the world. From the bottom, but now I'm on top, and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, 'cause I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Pull on, and you don't wanna ride. Ain't no way that I'm stopping. This will be in the king, 4 quarters straight shots, and I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion.
It's fourth quarter, 1 second, all you hear is swish. My motivation is to keep all the haters pissed.
Good night, and we are back here on reggae2reggae.com. Hope for tomorrow. Wonderful for all our listeners and our viewers out there. Remember, if you would like to donate any contributions, we like to hit you guys up with this all the time because it's important. Because, hey, listen, there's a lot of guys that are out there that are shelterless, that are going hungry, that may have just set foot on this island maybe for a couple of days, a week or so they might have been here. really don't have anywhere to go and are really in a tough position. We've seen it with our own eyes, Minister Lovejoy, myself, Octavia. We've been to those shelters. We've seen the situation that they're in. So it's Hope for Tomorrow, care of Wendy Lovejoy, 6555 Sugarloaf Parkway, Suite 307, Duluth, Georgia, 30097. If you got flip-flops, any old clothes, non-perishable items, please don't be afraid to send them to us. We could really use it. It'll go a long way in helping some people that really need it. You got some reading here that you'd like to share with us, and let's get back into our conversation. I didn't like how that old
clothes sound. If you have some clothing,
clothing,
and it don't just have to be flip flops. It's not like there's
if
just
shoes,
right.
You got an old Gucci bag. You want to say
you
got an old Gucci
bag. Okay, we're just appreciative of the love. Love, not appreciate. I wanted to share this, and it's under the number 14, which is my number. Okay. For he created all things, that they might have their being, and the generations of the world were healthful. Like all the disease and stuff, we didn't have that. And there is no poison or destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. That is not our God with death and so forth, So when people are like, oh, if he's gonna, I'm like, well, he gives us that will to decide. Yeah. And like I know, before I got into this trouble, when I accepted that package, Father God commanded me. He said, do not accept the package. And me, the sheep that I am, that's why I need my shepherd. Sheeps are some dumb animals.
Yes, they are. Stubborn.
Dumb. I would say dumb.
Dumb and stubborn, yeah.
Well, okay, same thing. If it's,
depending on the line.
Cinnamon animal, whatever. Yeah. But, dumb. Okay. And the shepherd, that's why the Lord is my shepherd, that I shall not want.
Yes.
Because I'm a sheep. Because with hearing them saying that, I still signed for that package and booked as soon as I just saw the whole destruction coming to me. And that was a domino effect on my whole entire life. But now I'm like, how you... Yeah, I'm crawling up, And let me show, I have been getting my mindset right, because I have my business cards.
Bang! Here you go.
That was Octavia. Like that Saturday Night Live.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Right. And they look so nice, and I want to thank the printer, because we have such a wonderful marketing specialist in the house that we were able to get these cards. God is good. And I want to thank our marketing specialists and the printers. I don't have the exact name. Yes. I don't like to advertise what is not sure of. So I want to thank that gracious move, and I want to thank good Lord for good things. And I want to thank all our viewers, and I want to thank those who donate.
Yes.
Eunice Curry, and who else?
Eunice Curry, Donna Johns, and Shauna
Stevens. And Shauna Stevens. I always thank y'all. Thank you. That's love. Because to take the time to run here and buy that and run there and buy that. I mean, I always said something like, you don't have to do nothing but be black and die. As
the saying goes. That's the saying goes.
It's a saying,
But I always say what goes around comes back. Around. And if you push effort, if you give maximum effort, somebody's going to give maximum effort for you. Right. So you went around getting that barrel, putting it together, and all that shopping and everything. Someday you're going to be in a bit of a jam. Somebody's going to go that extra mile for you.
So I want to really say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I was crying that last time. it won't happen tonight because I think I cried last night, you know. But when he was saying what you said, that man said to cry and laugh, I said, man, that sounds like bipolar.
Yeah, no, it's just Jimmy Valvano, a great coach of North Carolina State University. He it's a great story. Anytime you get to see it, it's called Survive and Advance. It's a story of a underdog basketball team who wins the national championship against all odds. They were very resilient, according to what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about resilience. Quick story. He's got this underdog team, bunch of ragtag guys. They come together. Real life stuff that happened in 1983. And he's got this school. First of all, they barely get in the tournament, which is the end of the year basketball tournament to decide the national championship. They had to win 4 games just to get into the tournament. In each of those 4 games that they were going into, they were behind all of them in the last minute, at least by like 5 or more points. Came back and won them. Get into the tournament and they start winning. They get on a roll and they're winning games. In all those games, they had to come from behind. So they had to at least win like 10 games. 10 of their last 12 games, they actually came from behind to win it. And they were always, their theme was survive and advance, be resilient. And the funniest thing, true story, he had them practicing, cutting down the nets, saying they won the national championship. They practiced that. So he embedded that in their mind. Remember the mindset that they were going to win. Don't look at that, okay, we're short, we're undermanned, we may not be no talent. He got the first practice they had. He said, come, let's all get together, get the ladders. They're like, are you crazy? What are we getting ladders for? He brought them over to the nets. He said, everybody climb up, cut down the nets. We're going to win a national championship. And he kept doing that. And what happened was the guys that were on the team, the basketball players, as they were being interviewed, started saying that it almost like it psyched them into thinking that, hey, we're supposed to win. We're not supposed to be losing, you know. And I think that life is like that. And then, you know, they went on and won the national championship against Houston, a team that was has like 2 Hall of Famers that were in college. This was college, and before they went to the pros, those guys would go on to be Hall of Famers. They were like an NBA team in college, and this little barely good to average basketball team beat them because they had faith. It was faith that did it. And they had a last-second miracle shot that they made, and that's what won the game for them. And the guys said afterward, the players that played for him, that played for the coach, said that he never once ever came into a practice or a meeting with them and never told them that they couldn't do something. It was never a conversation about, well, if something goes wrong, everything was that we're going to do this. So I thought about that, like, wow, you know, this is crazy, this is incredible. I mean, you always hear about, you know, if you believe it, it will happen. He put that into action. And they always say faith without works is dead. So I always believe that in your going through, sometimes he claimed it. You know, you talk about claiming what you want. He claimed that, hey, we're going to win this. And I think a lot of times this is great for our deported migrants too. If you want something, it could be a house. It doesn't matter how big, because what I got from Jimmy Valvano and then his speech at the ESPYs about don't ever give up. And he always said that whatever you want in life, claim it. It's yours. And this is not a guy that's a preacher. No. He's not this big Christian. He's not nothing. He's just a person that has faith. He's just living off of faith. Say, anything you want in life, claim it. And in case you forget, write yourself a note.
Thank you.
Ride around with it, put it in your pocket. You know,
let me share. Okay, 2 things that you touched on. That is, one, I heard, call those things that are not
as though they were. Call those things as though they were. Yes.
And then I heard when you said about writing it down, write it in a tablet and watch it happen.
Yes.
And I one day I had a book because you know I did like a year of law.
Yeah.
And thank you, family, because you know without y'all that couldn't have happened. And a special friend, you know. And I want to thank. And anyway, I went through this book, and I was going through it, and right then and there I heard, see, it happened. You wrote it down, and it was pointing, and that's when I realized that, you know, these things really are true. Just like your spirit, you know, detect or will tell you, you know, that that's a lie, you know, because the Holy Spirit is not gonna dwell within you if you are ungodly.
Yeah, unclean.
Sinful and stuff like that, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. The next man is not perfect. He said there is no perfect one.
No, there is.
You understand?
And not to cut you off, I want to explain what unclean means to our listeners and the viewers. That's not to do with your hygiene or if you're nasty or not. That's to do with the purity of your heart. That's what about unclean is. It's the purity of your heart. Finish up your point.
And so, you know, it just was, it brought to my awareness of the word being true. So when people, you know, I always, just like we were talking about being misled and so forth, and, you know, a lot of times people say, oh, the Bible is a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. It's not that the Bible is a lie, it's the way they teach it. You understand? It's the format of teaching it, because while I was seeking truth, I've been seeking truth. I would always seek truth because it just feels so good when things could be revealed to you that you always question, you know? And when it's revealed to you from no one come telling you, it's revealed by revelation, okay? So seeking the truth from a little girl, because we were sent to church, you know. It's not like it's not, we were sent.
That's how it was
like,
at my
aren't
house
y'all
too.
going to church?
You had to be ready by the church bus out there blowing.
You know, well, you had a bus. We walked to this big old Catholic. I went to this Catholic cathedral, and the first time, me and my brother fell asleep. You know, them hard wooden
benches.
Oh my goodness, we was like, we didn't understand what they were saying. You know, so to me, my spirit wasn't going to accept that because I don't even understand what they were saying, you know. So that was it. Cross that out. That's not happening. So then my mom was like, well, there's a church around there. So I'm like, are you sending us to church within myself to learn or to get rid of us, you know? So we went, and then it was like this Anglican church. And then, you know, us. My brother, he ran across the street to the candy store. You know, that was his offering. And then me, I'm sitting in Sunday school eating cupcakes and drinking juice. That was what I was going for. Because the stories is like, well, where is this place you talking about?
That's
you
true.
know. And then at certain and certain, I'm like, oh, that's Africa. You know, because the globe, and you're looking like, okay, where's Ethiopia? Bop! Africa right there, you know. So I'm like, not going through Sunday school, we would have ever learned that. They don't teach you that in Sunday school.
They don't. They're not going to teach you history,
right? And that's what the Bible is, a history book.
It's a great history lesson.
You understand?
The greatest history lesson you could ever get.
So it is the way that it's being taught. It is not that it's a lie. You know, I think that it has been tampered with because it has come out of, like, they have taken it out of the mother tongue, let's say the mother language, you understand, because it wasn't English.
It wasn't,
you know. So when you translate something, you can deceive. You can translate it by leaving out something, you know, and the wording. So it's like, it will, if your spirit is not one to lead you because of whatever unrighteousness or sin, or, you know, your heart being bad or whatever, then you will be misled.
That's true. That's very true. And I think that a lot of times, as it goes back to commitment, resilience, a lot of us just don't seem to, and I won't really say that it's, I think it more has to do with the circumstance first. Because the circumstance is going to have a lot to deal with if you're going to be able to overcome, depending on what you're going through, and then what kind of commitment you have to it. Are you willing to stand your ground and push all the way through? But in anything in life, you're going to have to be committed. You're going to have to be resilient because you're going to face things. You're going to have to be ready to overcome. You're going to have to be able to work well with others. And you're going to have to be able to stay the course. You cannot do anything in life without being able to be committed to what you're doing.
Exactly.
And that's the truth of the matter. And we're getting ready to close. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Another wonderful show. Take those scriptures home with you. Proverbs 1:1-6, Colossians 2, verse 8, and read the Song of Solomon and Ecclesiastics. Those books will give you great insight to knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Proverbs. Never forget your Proverbs, Ecclesiastics, and the Song of Solomon is also a beautiful book.
I would like to also say, you know, I've been listening to Wendy Lovejoy. You know, Wendy Lovejoy. Yeah, but I would. It's really good. Like the context, you know, her deliverance, you know, and so forth. You know, it's been good. It's been something that I can say I've been absorbing.
Yes.
There has been a lot of spiritual Armageddon fights. You know,
it is.
However, you know, just knowing that because. You know, it was once that I was suspended, like, you know, like, not suspended from school, but suspended, like, didn't know, you know, just searching, didn't know which way to go, how it's gonna
floating
go.
around,
Yeah,
trying to find that.
And I just take things now to say, like, you know, I'm going through so much at my place of where I reside, and, you know, it's just been... Oh my God, it's been like a big weight on my back, my shoulder, my body ache. I don't even I could feel tense, but you know, I think about it and I said, wow, at least I'm not in the sewage, because Paul was in the sewage of Rome.
Paul had some endeavors that if you didn't have God, hold on to God's skirts and everything, because he went through some stuff that, God. You talk about being tested to your limits. I don't think, and you know, it's interesting that you said that, because in all our going throughs that we're going through, I don't think any one of us have experienced what Paul went through.
No.
Not even close. So keep that in mind, listeners. I mean, the great apostles themselves have been through more than what we have.
Exactly. And they did it with joy. They was in the jailhouse singing, and then the earthquake came and the doors opened.
We're glad you tuned in. Come again next week. Same time, same place. We'll be here 7 to 9. Again, we thank you for tuning in. On behalf of Octavia Duhaney, I'm Ricardo Stevenson. Hope for Tomorrow Radio here on reggae2reggae.com, and we shall see you again next week. Remember, be resilient, stay committed, and be ready to work hard for what you want.
Yeah, I'm so proud. Ching, ching.
Bang! Have a good night. Next week as well, I should be having my business cards up as well, because they're in the process. So
see, he don't have a marketing specials, so you have to excuse him.
I gotta go to a printery.
I know where one is that'll give you some.
Give me a discount?
Yeah, like
From the bottom, but now I'm on top, and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, 'cause I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Pull on, and you don't wanna ride. Ain't no way that I'm stopping. They put me in the game, 4 quarters straight shots, and I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion.
It's 4th quarter, 1 second, all you hear is swish. My motivation is to keep all the haters pissed. It's the anticipation, the way the crowd just sound. And I ain't talking home court when I'm stomping ground. The stomach hurt, oh Lord, my Lancer. I'm gassed up in LA, down to Atlanta.
On top, and all they haters wanna see a nigga fall, but I'm not, 'cause I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion. Pull on, and you don't wanna ride. Ain't no way that I'm stopping. They put me in the game, 4 quarters straight shots, and I'm a champion. Tell 'em I'm a champion.
Reggae to reggae, reggae to reggae, taking over the world.